Welcome and happy holidays from us at StarSpace to all of you. As you all well know by this point, my name is Jeff Yenzer, Board Secretary at StarSpace46, and this is another episode of StarSpace Chats, where I sit down with members of our Oklahoma City community to figure out what they're doing, where they've come from, and where they're going. And after a year like this, as we bring 2020 to a close, we're recording middle of the month in December, and I would love to say that it's time to kick that year out and next year will be great. But you know what? We'll just see how next year goes. And we're going to make the best of it no matter what. I think that should be the way to live life. So as per normal, we love having people in our space. We do offer free co-working Wednesdays. We have refigured a lot of our co-working area to accommodate more social distancing and keeping things safe. And that's our biggest concern. So truly, as we look to close out the year, we would love to see new faces and faces that we haven't seen for a little while, because we are all in this together and we can't wait to get on the other side of things. So with that, I will welcome Evan Fay, Project Manager for the Greater Oklahoma City Chamber of Commerce. Evan?
Hey, Jeff. Thanks for having me on board.
There he is. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing well. I'm in my own little quarantine hole of a conference room and just trying to stay COVID safe and get the city back to healthy. How about you, sir?
Right about the same. I'm in my office here in StarSpace. As you can see from the comics behind me, I'm either here or I'm at home. Like these are the two areas that people see me the most. So it's my safe spaces.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's good that everybody's buckling down and staying safe. And I'm certainly thankful for the work that you all are doing at StarSpace to create a safe work environment for entrepreneurs and small business owners that need a place to be, to have high-speed internet and community amongst these weird times.
Yeah, definitely. Be it internet or coffee or really just people getting out of the house every once in a while. We're looking now as we're staring down the barrel of 9 months of this, and a lot of people are just at that point of, I just need a day, 2 days a week, something, so that I am not staring at the same wall. So yeah, it's definitely been a roller coaster of a ride, but we're kind of onward and upward at this point, and thankful for what we've already been able to see, and thankful for the people that we still have and everything like that. So it's been something, but I think that we're all better for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think like in the true Oklahoma fashion, I think it's been neat to see, at least in my role, a lot of businesses and community leaders roll up their sleeves and make the most of these times. And I've kind of reflecting back on this year and proud of what we as a people have accomplished this year. Personally, professionally, and as far as continuing to maintain our momentum as a city and growing, it's just really been amazing. We, even amongst all the weird economic times and sickness, like we have a lot to be thankful for. So
yeah, definitely. Well, I always like to ask people as they come on, like, what brought you to today? Tell me a little bit of the history of Evan the person before we talk about Evan the professional.
Awesome. So I'm a lifelong Oklahoman. I have never lived anywhere else. I love it here. I've grown to love it here, I should say. I went to school here in Oklahoma City. Went to college down in Norman, Oklahoma. Was a proud Sooner. I am a proud Sooner. My wife and I live here in Oklahoma City. We have a rescue dog, and we foster dogs in and out. Try and spend as much time as we can outside. And supporting, local nonprofits through volunteer work, through, giving and being involved. And, on a personal note, just it's really fun to be a part of a city like Oklahoma City, where you can actually, make something of yourself and be part of building a community that's on the up and up. So I am. I guess my hobbies, what makes me me, my hobbies would be spending time outdoors, fly fishing, running, hiking, playing golf, and I do enjoy good craft beer and whiskey.
Yeah, that's a man and my own heart. I will appreciate truly the Oklahoma City craft beer scene really throughout all of COVID.
Yep.
Whether it's been Angry Scotsman or the Brewers Union, whoever it is, they've taken so many precautions so that we can still get craft beer.
Exactly what we need.
brewing better stuff every single time because I kept looking at the Scotch cabinet and I'm like, it's going to start depleting if I don't take some steps. And
And that is, you bring up a good point. Like I think we have a sleeper brewery scene here, and especially down by where StarSpace is. I think it catches a lot of people by surprise when they visit Oklahoma City for the first time and they see, wow, you guys I didn't know this beer. I've seen this beer in my, local liquor store on the other side of the country. I had no idea that was, brewed in Oklahoma City. And, you bring up the Brewers Union and the collaboration that exists there, like breweries, going in on a special release with each other and kind of trading, top brewers and want to leave one place to start another. And it's just a really unique culture that I think embodies what we're about. And it benefits you and I that love to drink malt beverages. So
absolutely. And I think you hit on a great point that it really does embody what Oklahoma City is about. And StarSpace is the same way. It's just so weird as I traveled other parts of the nation and the world, just the cutthroat mentality of I'm going to win at the expense of you. And at least for me, I've rarely ever seen that in Oklahoma City itself across industries. It's crazy. You'll see even oil barons that all hung out together, and you'll see something like the Craft Brewers Union where these are all people that in any other environment, they would all be competitors and they wouldn't want to give away their secret sauce or their recipes, but they're all coming together. It's these people coming out of brewing it in their garages and their closets. And then the Brewers Union gives them a co-working space, essentially a co-brewery to be able to grow and actually make their brewery out of that and scale purposefully. So it's awesome.
Oh, it's amazing. It is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, but it's a testament to Oklahoma City and just the way business is. I tell people, if you can't succeed here as a small business owner, I don't know if you're going to ever be able to find success anywhere else.
It's good to hear.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, I get it. Chamber of Commerce. It's a brand, isn't it? So speaking of, kind of tell me a little bit about you right now, because there are so many projects happening, I'm sure, at any given time.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a project manager, and I run kind of our innovation and entrepreneurship efforts for the Oklahoma City Chamber. And what I think a lot of people don't know is there's the membership piece of a Chamber of Commerce, business membership that offers all sorts of programming and continuing ed and community policy advocacy for businesses. But there's this other piece called economic development, and they certainly play together. Economic development is kind of we wake up every day and think about how can we strengthen the local economy, whether it's through workforce development programs, through recruitment and retention of business and industry, and really standing at the focal point of convening education and industry and policy and municipal government. We have an awesome relationship with the city of Oklahoma City to provide kind of that economic development service. And so within that, I focus on creating and nurturing an environment where entrepreneurs can thrive and startups can be launched. And so over the last couple of years, I've been in this role for about 3 years. Over the last couple of years, we've really doubled down in supporting existing organizations like StarSpace46, like I2E, like Creative Oklahoma, Stitch Crew, and the Thunder Launchpad, and other kind of organizations that come to mind when you think Oklahoma City entrepreneurship. And we've through that gained a great understanding of what the needs are for an entrepreneurial ecosystem in Oklahoma City. And this year, we got really serious about seeding and piloting new programs, some of which was by choice, and some of it was by necessity with COVID-19 and its incredible impact on small businesses and startups, and women and minority-owned businesses, especially. And so, we had some things on the docket this year that we had hoped to accomplish, and luckily that list is about twice as long because of what was kind of forced upon us. But it really brought us together, I think, as a community and working together across companies, across departments to really serve businesses and people. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no, you're on a roll, and I'm appreciating it because as one of those small businesses, I mean, I see them, I help them scale in my role in my own company. That's literally what I do. Is I like to take these people that have great ideas, and you made a point out of necessity right now.
Yeah.
While it is necessity, it's also that ideal that people had forgotten over the last 60 years that America and the world is built on entrepreneurial efforts. It's built on small businesses. Every farmer is an entrepreneur. All of these small communities are people that are trading their services and goods and all of this. There's nothing new under the sun here. It's just getting back to that idea that maybe, just maybe, you weren't made to be somebody's employee your entire life or to just be a cog in a wheel.
Definitely.
So to really grow those efforts, it's always been something that has been near and dear to my heart and something that I push for. So I appreciate everything you all do. And I've seen the shift at the Chamber this year, and it's been very interesting to watch.
It's been fun. And you bring up a good point also about kind of this ethos of entrepreneurship over the last 60 years. And I would argue that especially as Oklahomans, like it's baked into who we are. People love it or hate it. See us, we're an energy state. Our industry for the longest time has been energy. And you think about what wildcatting is. It's, this risky poking holes in the ground, capital intensive. We don't know what's under there. If we strike it big, we will make out like bandits and be wealthy and create wealth. If there's nothing under there, then, we can hang our heads and go home, or we can try it again. And so I can't think of anything that more mirrors high growth entrepreneurship than that, both on the company creation side and on the venture capital side. And so we have people that are, familiar with risk, that are willing to bet the farm and go big. Yeah. And we've really started to see that. I think we started something this year that I'm excited for, obviously laying a baseline this past January, but I'm excited to see kind of what is revealed in the years to come. So we conducted a startup census to try and understand who is founding businesses, what is their industry, what's their expertise, who are these founders as far as, male, female, racial kind of identity, what level of education have they attained? How are they capitalizing the business? And things like that, to really understand where are the gaps and where can we come alongside and invite others alongside to ensure that we have more women and minority founders, or female founders, or, female founders, industries represented outside of, energy, transportation, healthcare, and kind of tell our story a little bit better. So it came about after reading Inc. magazine. Last year, they published a Surge Cities list. And Oklahoma City, I think, ranked 37th or 38th. And one of the things that they called out was, venture capital. There was only about $6.5 million of venture funding raised in 2019. Yeah. And I thought, well, I don't think that's accurate, but I know how they're finding their data. I think we're just not doing a good enough job of reporting the activity that's going on here. So out of that kind of came the startup census. We partnered with OU's Center for the Creation of Economic Wealth, and 122 companies responded to the census in its first year. And it was reported that there was almost $19 million in venture funding raised in the same year that Inc. magazine said there was about 6.5. Right. And so what I learned was we are not, whether it's the creation of a platform, whether it's rallying around one voice and telling our story, we're just not telling our story. And, there's always things that we can work on as a city and as an entrepreneurial ecosystem. But I think there's a lot more going on here than what meets the eye to us and to those around the world that are watching us.
Yes. And I think that almost mirrors the Oklahoman mindset in and of itself.
Absolutely.
Always collaborative, but rarely ever braggadocious.
Right.
So you don't talk about what you're doing. You'll help somebody else, but you don't necessarily ever take the time to describe what you're bringing to the table. And I think that is raw data that really shows that there is some nugget of truth to that. And we really do need to start kind of talking ourselves up. And frankly, I'm a person that says if you can't talk yourself up, then 5 people should be talking each other up.
Right.
So if you can't do it yourself, why not? Well, why not talk? And it becomes that, hey, I know this person that can do this thing and they're great at it. You should talk to them. So maybe that is something that can be brought forth to people, because I get the anxiety of wanting to brag on yourself, especially if you're starting to find success.
Definitely.
But at the same time, if you don't do it, nobody's gonna.
And that's one thing about, the StarSpace community and really the entrepreneurship community at large is, it's collaborative by nature. And anytime I'm at StarSpace or I'm interacting with somebody that, is really, maybe that's their home office. If you put a problem out there or have some sort of service that you're looking to acquire, there's always a referral that comes from that. And I think that's the fabric that is stronger than anything that you can try and, curate. Or it naturally happens, and it's a bond that's really hard to break. And I think there's more, again, kind of to what we've talked about, like there's more of that in Oklahoma City than meets the eye, and you kind of have to go a little bit beneath the surface. But I just believe that we're on the cusp of something great as a city because of those strong bonds.
I agree. There's so much of a value of just having that sort of collaboration happening. I go to other co-working spaces in other parts of the country, and I see people kind of undercutting each other. If a graphic designer walks in, the other graphic designers kind of look, or a client, especially that wants graphic design, might walk in, and heaven forbid, it's like sharks. Right. And here it's one of those, if I can't do it, well, I probably know somebody.
Hey, go talk to so-and-so. Yeah, exactly.
Or if I don't want to do it, that is what success is as a solopreneur, is you're too busy for all the people that want you.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, that's what it looks like. So I really appreciate the community here and in Oklahoma City itself for offering that sort of thing. And I appreciate you kind of pushing and being a driving force behind that for at least the last 3 years.
Well, it's been fun to be part of. It's kind of, there's no clear-cut path to get into this work, but I think the thing that, I don't remember who gave the quote, I heard a couple of years ago, but it was, you've got to get proximal. You've got to get where entrepreneurs are to understand what issues they're facing, what community they need, what can I do to help, what can they do to help me, and so you just got to get in it. And so that would be my ask of anybody that's, watching this and wants to understand how to get involved in the entrepreneur community. You don't have to be an entrepreneur. You just have to, want to get close to entrepreneurs and understand how in your role can you help them find a first customer or make an introduction to, an investor or a community supporter, whether it's a friend or a family or somebody through business. Everybody has, I think, a tool in their tool chest to help and serve an entrepreneur. You just have to get close enough to talk.
Yeah. And it's that talking where you're talking with the entrepreneur enough that you know what they do. Yep. And you can begin to say it. The amount of businesses gets thrown my way that's just people are listening for, I'm having this issue with an employee and I don't know how to go about it. Or, I've never even had a handbook. It was too much work. And these things that will happen, whether it's out when people are drinking or at a golf course or any of these things, like that's the actual genuine networking that happens. That's where somebody, wait a second, I know somebody that does that here. I'll connect the two of you. I'll send you both an email and put the two of you together. And then if everybody does that, magically, we all save money on marketing.
Exactly.
So what's kind of the next, the next 6 months? Like, what's that looking like for you?
Absolutely. So we're going to do another, startup census. We're wrapping up our small business continuity program and minority business recovery program in partnership with the City of Oklahoma City and the Alliance for Economic Development. We seed funded and piloted a program called Cultivating Coders last year with Millwood Public Schools. And so there was an 8-week all virtual boot camp where 25 high schoolers learned full stack web development. Mm-hmm. So those same instructors are going to be teaching a course for young adults who are unemployed, underemployed, dislocated workers. So that camp kicks off on January 18th, and I can facilitate a link to sign up. If you're at all interested in learning full stack web development and some fundamentals of UI UX, and that'll be all online. We have recently partnered with a nonprofit here called Progress OKC to launch Kiva, Oklahoma City, which is a micro lending platform for small businesses that don't have access to traditional capital. Maybe they don't have a credit score high enough to get a small business loan. Maybe they don't have a credit score at all or have a traditional banking relationship. And so we, on January 1st, are going to be launching that program with the goal of doing 10 loans in the first 6 months. Those loans can be as much as $15,000, and they carry no interest and no fees. So we hope that it's a tremendous resource for a lot of these small businesses that are either just now getting started or were impacted by COVID and need 3 years of runway to get their business kind of back on track. So those are kind of some of the near-term, things that are on the burner for us. And, if anybody's watching that has interest in learning more or getting involved, I'm super happy to chat more offline about that. But, we seek to be a repository and kind of a convening point for a lot of great ideas and connections. And so, if there are needs that are going unmet by any community resource in the entrepreneurial community, I'm fortunate to be part of a great group of ecosystem builders that seek to change that and make life easier for entrepreneurs. So we'd love to know kind of your thoughts and feedback on the work that's going on so far.
Yeah, totally. And we'll get your links down in the comment section in YouTube and everything like that. And we'll want to make sure that people know, because I've personally transitioned quite a few people that have gone from jobs they hate, jobs that they never should have been in for as long as they were, but they were taught that if you just stick with someplace, they'll treat you right. And then they found out that that's not the case. And anything that can get people, I think, to a level of just better understanding of code and the next jobs for the next 50 years is always going to help. So we'll make sure to throw some people your way and have those links in perpetuity. So hopefully that will help.
Perfect.
Again, you know that I'm always a resource to you. StarSpace is always a resource to the Chamber. We have a great partnership. And I appreciate you so much, Evan, for joining us today.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah. If anybody wanted to get just a hold of you yourself, what's the easiest way to reach out directly opposed to the links below?
Yeah, absolutely. So my email address is efay, E-F-A-Y, at okcchamber.com. I'm on LinkedIn, easy to find, and I'm fairly responsive on either of those media, and I'd love to hear from you. Just about anything. Hopefully when, we get back to a healthier city and nation, we can grab a beer or coffee sometime soon, and I will await that day.
Well, I can't wait for that day for the two of us. We're going to sit down with some scotch and some beer, and we're gonna enjoy it.
Solve all the world's problems.
Yes, that's how problems get solved. Evan, again, an absolute pleasure. Take care, be safe, and have a happy holiday.
You too, Jeff.
Take care. Again, I get to interview some of the true game changers here in Oklahoma City and the people that really are in the trenches trying to make things happen both in the city and in the state. And Evan is no different from that. So it has been my absolute pleasure to host nearly an entire year of these things with you. We are looking forward to even more next year. As we close out the year, we would ask that all of you be safe. All of you have joyous holidays, no matter what and which ones you celebrate, and truly take that time to enjoy time around other people. I would be remiss if I didn't try to show you just a little bit on StarSpace46. We're very easy to find, StarSpace46.com. We are just west of downtown in Oklahoma City. We have plenty of space for those of you who are looking to transition back from working from home in a safe and knowledgeable manner, and surround yourself with that networking opportunity so that maybe you go from being somebody's employee to somebody's employer. And if you need a stocking stuffer, this is a very nice one. You can find these. We do have branded merchandise at merch46.com. So by any means necessary, if you have those last minute gifts, feel free to pop over, and we'll take care of you in some way, shape, or form. Maybe you get a track jacket and you can look like part of the gang. Anyway, always a pleasure. I've been Jeff Yenzer, And this has been StarSpace Chats. We'll see you soon. Happy New Year.